Ciao a tutti e benvenuti a questa serie di lezioni su come divertirsi con le corde. Hello everybody, my name is Davide or Laudai, and I'm going to show you how to have fun with ropes. So let's start with the most important things when you play with ropes, that are consent and safety. So most important thing when you play with ropes or any other SM scene is about consent, and that means that you always have to be sure that your partner agrees on what you're going to do, and you don't take initiative that you didn't agree. One way to make it work is having a safe word. And that means you understand it's time to stop the scene because your partner starts to be uncomfortable. The safe word has to be out of context because in some plays you play with false negation. So even if your partner is saying stop or no can mean go ahead and yes. So having a safe word out of the context is super clear. And I suggest also to have a middleweight safe word so you can understand when it's time to slow down and you don't have to stop completely the scene. Cross light colors works well. You can say yellow when you feel everything is going in the wrong direction, and you can say red when it's time to stop. Consent during the scene can be a turn off, basically asking very plain question like can I do this, or you agree if I do that, are not very keeping the mood. So I suggest you to create a way to say it that fit the scene. A way I use usually is you like that, isn't it? Or are you happy with this? So you keep your dom and sub role, but you also have a feedback about what you're doing is not wrong. So now we're going to make this position more uncomfortable and a little bit more torturing. So this is a good example of what I was talking before about consent. So before pulling too much or before stressing your body, just make some question like I try and going around their neck. And then here, and before pulling, I don't pull all the weight out. I just pulling and asking her, do you like this? Do you enjoy it? Maybe so you see, if the answer is not sure, you don't have to keep going, you can release and try something else. Also, it's very important during the scene reading the emotion and the feelings of the other person. Remember, it's a couple thing, it's not just you playing with another person. You need to feel the feedback. So when you try to do something, don't just do it, but slowly give some hint of what are you doing, even when you're touching, and see the reaction. If it's positive, you keep doing it, and if you feel uncomfortable, just change your plan. Remember, SM playing or role playing is a couple thing, so both of you has to enjoy it at the same time. So you have to be ready to read what the other person feelings are. And remember, especially with ropes, there this kind of thing called rope drunkenness. So maybe the person tied up lose a little bit of control of mental capacity, let's say. So be sensible enough to read it. Another very important thing when you play with the ropes is having the right safety tool. The most important is this pair of scissors. As you can see, there are medical scissors that cannot pinch you, and these you need to use when you have to cut the rope. And don't tie anybody without a pair of these. And if you are a model, don't get tied by anybody that doesn't carry one pair of these scissors for the first time. And when you play, keep the scissor in pocket or in a very accessible position. So don't keep it in a drawer or in a bag in the other room. You need to be fast to grab it in case you need it. And also for safety reason, keep your phone always charged before playing, and again in an accessible position if you have to call medical assistance. In the unlucky case you have to do it, don't lie to doctors. Say you were playing with ropes. That helps to have much faster help and diagnosis. So now let's going to cover some safety advice about the most dangerous areas of the body where you should avoid to put ropes on. So at this level, since you are a beginner, never put a rope in the front part. The back side is safe, so also I will show you later. You can put a rope, but in front never cross it, never do a knot that could be potentially sliding knot. Always keep it like open. Another sensitive part to avoid is junction. Never put the rope on the elbow or the knees. I'm not going to very deep in the nerve anatomy, but what you have to know is under the armpit, especially here, there are no muscle protecting the nerves. So here is one of the most dangerous area, and the most cases of nerve damage comes from this area. So remember to never put a rope like in this position, pulling out up. And when you put a rope like in this area, be sure it's always flat. Don't put any knots or any twist of ropes in this position, because if you put some pressure here, you're going to potentially damage this area with the nerves. Be sure in this area the rope is flat, again not twist and not knots, because here, if you can see, this muscle do like a triangle. At the end of this triangle is like an empty area, and if you put pressure you're going to push the nerve. So in this area, always flat ropes. Another area where you don't have to put any knots or twists is here. To understand where you should like trace a triangle, and these two sides of the triangle are quite sensitive, and there are nerves, the femoral nerves going here. So avoid to put knots in these two lines. Always flat ropes. So if you are the one being tied up, it will be very common feeling feel of numbness in your hand. That's why putting some ropes restricting your blood pressure, and then so it's quite a common thing. So don't freak out and don't get nervous about that. But if you clearly feel like a pinching, very clear pinching feeling and numbness on these 3 fingers or on these 3 fingers, then there should be potential nerve damage. Then you have to tell to the person who's tying you up to stop and fix the problem. How to check yourself if you're having a nerve damage? There are little exercise or checking movement you can do. One of those is moving your fist as you're going a motorcycle up and down. If you can do this movement, then you're probably fine. Another one is after and before you're tying somebody, you check the power of the nerves, doing this movement, pulling every finger. If you find resistance on every finger, then it's okay. If you do this and there's no strength, then the nerves is already weak and you shouldn't tie the arms and avoid the ropes. So those were the basic safety and consent suggestion I give to you. But whatever I'm going to show you in these lessons are very basic stuff. So you probably will never any need of those, but you have to know. Be careful when you play with ropes because it's potentially dangerous. And if I suggest you also to do your research about nerves more deep before you start to play with ropes.